that that guitar was in tune. All right, I'll get to it. Let's get started. I think the song ran out of time on my little player. Let's see. Play, you silly thing. Let's start here. We'll be up in just a second. Oh, yes. Let's get ready to roll. Hit that like, everybody. Share the show. Good afternoon. What's up, Substack and Instagram? Where are you from? What do you do for a living? Hi. Hit the like. Okay, just smash it like a little bit. Good afternoon. All right. Oh, it's a good time. Damn. That's what. Look how my camera pushed out. That's fun. That's the end of my. That's all of my green screen. There you go. Hey, there you go. That's a little better, sort of. It just forgot. What's up, chat room? Hello. I'm just playing some music for a minute while we're doing it. Good times. So, all right. Let's get started with this because I have so much to talk about today, and appreciate you guys being here. And I am enjoying the Scots as well. It's a lovely thing when you get to take the song you wrote for your theme song and then get it translated into a bunch of ridiculous different styles by AI that I couldn't ever afford to get session people to come in and play it. You know, so now we've done that. You need to get Bobcat on as a guest. I don't know that he'd do it. Because he'd sit there going, man, I don't really talk like that. And I'd be like, yeah, you do. Don't be like, shut up. I don't know. Thank you very much. What do you do for a living? My mother is so fat. She's real fat. I don't have a joke for everything, you know. And he'd be like, thanks, man. Thanks. That's, to bring back painful memories. You mean painful memories when, like, we were all doomed to nuclear holocaust and you were making everybody laugh by being silly? Is Bobcat still alive? Yes, he directs Kimmel. Yeah. I mean, not only does he direct movies, and he's pretty damn good at it, a little nihilistic for my taste some of the times, but Shakes the Clown is a masterwork. He's rock solid. He can hold down a narrative and deliver it. So there you go. He directs Kimmel. Yeah, he's the. I don't know if it's like the segment director, but he's listed as a director on Kimmel on the regular. Does this smell funny to you? Yeah. Love to see Bobcat just as he is. Yeah. He has like quiet weekends on the lake. You just hear like birds chirping, and then in the background you go, turn it over, you're burning it. Right. You do, Joe? Well, tell him I said hi, and he knows I'm a fan, so we'll just leave it there. All right, so lots to cover today. I loved the conversation we got to have this morning. It felt nice to have like kind of a socio-political conversation about stuff, because a lot of times it's, you got to go after the root, not the fruit. And so there's a couple things I want to show you kind of right out of the gate. And I was reading them on my phoneage, and the Facebook is just alive with just shit right now. It's crazy. Make sure my phone isn't dead. Go away. I don't care. Stop it. There was a story. Throw that to there. Should pop up right away. Haboing. No, okay, moved it over there. That's fine. I can live with that. There's a story. I guess the Mirror U.S., which is the British tabloid, did a phone interview with Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Diddy was denied bail again. No, thank you. I gotta turn this into the reader because it's a pain in the ass. And I gotta say, am I frozen or is it okay? We're all good. All right. That's just this image. Okay, good. We're fine. Whenever my camera acts up, I'm always like, what happened? Is that all right? We're okay. All right. We're good. All good. Thank you. Excellent. Oh, my USB-C extension cable just arrived, though. Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. I'm so excited to have my USB-C extension cable because everything's changing to USB-C, and I've got all these older pieces of gear that you have to translate. Son of a bitch. Anyway, I'm fine. I need to take this thing, which only goes that far, and put it way over there. So that is the thing that I have to deal with. So, Nerdgasm, it's very exciting. Now, there are times, when we've been looking at this Epstein shit, there's been times where we're like, yeah, dummy, we all knew where have you been this whole fucking time, right? We've seen this multiple times where like maggots and the Andrew Sullivan and all these dipshits are finally going, wait a minute. And Joe Rogan, like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to think maybe, just maybe, Trump might be full of shit. You're like, yeah, really? Really, dumbass? Good morning. Welcome to the party, pal. And I want to, let's see, where is it? Did it go? I'll open this and that. Okay, that's in there. Okay. It's pretty, let's see. This biz, yeah. God damn, there's so much of this ridiculous shit. Okay, I'll open this up in a new tab and then open up this stupid shit. Yeah. So a bunch of them are waking up to the fact that like Trump is talking out of his ass, right? Okay. And like we're all like duh, for fuck's sake. Like, how long does it take you guys to figure this shit out? In the meantime, Marjorie Taylor Greene is starting to have these, obvious riffs would be around her, absolutely pro-Russian, must, make Ukraine bow to their power and pressure. This weird fucking fixation she has about it. And that could be unpacked for days. But what's apparently driven the wedge between her and the rest of MAGAdom somehow is the fact that, I don't know if you know this, and hang on to your seats, folks, but there's a streak of misogyny in the Republican Party, and apparently they aren't very pro-woman. Right? Like, that's what's apparently, this is the essence. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's what finally did it? Like, and here's the weird part. This is the weird part. On the one hand, is the Republican Party full of, like, patriarchal dickheads who want trad wives who, cater to their every need and don't talk and all that? Yes. Is there a hierarchical structure in the Republican Party where they will not vote for a woman in any meaningful position of power? So much so that Donald Trump literally appoints women only to the departments and areas that he plans on shutting down because in his mind, they will definitely fail with a woman at the helm. Is that true? Yes, it is. But on top of that, I'm really conflicted because in defense of the upper echelon, I guess, of the House Republicans and other people, Marjorie Taylor Greene doesn't belong anywhere near a committee or in control of any fucking thing. She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. So is there sexism? Yes. Is Marjorie Taylor Greene's problem the way women are treated in the Republican Party? No. It's a great excuse, I guess. Right? It's great cover if you don't want to admit that you're completely unqualified for the job at hand. Yeah, now she wants to break the glass ceiling. Yeah. Next up, we're going to see her in a fucking, Hillary 2028 shirt. In a rare interview, the Republican representative vented her frustration with the party while hinting at making an exit from the GOP. I mean, she's already been bounced from the Freedom Caucasians for calling Lauren Boebert a bitch on the floor of the House. But I honestly don't think the men in that group give a shit if she calls Lauren Boebert a bitch. They just probably got hey, you do something about her or I'm leaving the Freedom Caucus. And they would rather have Lauren Boebert than they would Marjorie Taylor Greene for obvious reasons, for simple eye candy, right? Okay. So she claims it's sexism. Wait, settle in. Settle in. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican of Georgia, claims that sexism is rampant within the Republican Party. Right? No shit. Shocked to find out. Madam QAnon, wait till she finds out there's no basement at Comet Ping Pong. God damn. How in the world can you be Marjorie Taylor Greene, say that, and not punch yourself in the fucking face at the same time, right? I just realized that, oh my God, I'm an idiot, In an exclusive phone interview with the Daily Mail, the outspoken Georgia representative opened up about her frustrations with the party while hinting that she is planning an exit over several issues, from policy priority differences to sexist culture amongst its ranks. I guess not only are they not doing what she expected them to do, but they're telling her to shut the fuck up and buzz off lady at the same time, which is hilarious. Green 51 claims a good old boys club. Fuck me. I mean, come on. This is insane. This is right. Yeah, exactly. CSL. Hey, March. Epstein's wingman is in the White House, dipshit. You think he gives a fuck about women? They called those girls trash. Stupid. Jesus Christ. It's nice that I can still be shocked. All right. It's going to go ranging from donors to politicians has complete control of their party reins to the ire of many women in the party who feel overlooked and snubbed. Oh dear. Oh my Lord. Get me to the fainting couch right away. Move over, Miss Lindsay. It's mine now. For real? For real. Overlooked and snubbed. Asshole, they don't think women should be in positions of power at all. They think it's against the Bible. And it is Old Testament. It's not against the New Testament, but it's against the Old Testament. And that's where that whole Judeo-Christian thing comes in. Like, you can pick and choose, like a buffet of ethics and morals, right? Pre-New Covenant, post-New Covenant, right? I think there's other women in our party that are really sick and tired of the way men treat Republican women. Imagine how Democrat women feel. You fucking moron. My God. I think there's other women, Republican women, and I'm just giving my opinion here, who are really sick and tired of them. Well, tough shit. Greene, who is the largest following of any Republican woman in office, pointed to Lisa Stefanik because she got bounced to give like a soft landing to Mike Waltz. Yeah. Meanwhile, Mike Waltz was awarded a promotion to fill the UN ambassador position after national security advisor of the signal thing. I mean, she got screwed by Mike Johnson. She got screwed by the White House. And adding later, Greene said she's not afraid of Mike Johnson at all. Well, that's because she could suplex him. Let's be honest. Yeah. So let's see. She continued to say she feels the party has strayed from its recent emerged anti-establishment values. Hold on. Where is it? I need this line right now. I stretched the whole thing out, so...
That was just bullshit, Joel.
It was harder to find. So I'm going to make that one yellow. There we go, so I can see it in the future. All right, yeah. Anti-establishment. Shut the fuck up. That's like saying the people who... like march for, overthrowing the government or on right or far left don't want an establishment. Yes, they do. They just want their establishment. Anti-establishment. Shut the fuck. You can't even have a government unless you've established some ground rules. Oh, God. Establishment. Shut the fuck up. And it's harkened back to its neocon days. Gee, what was your first clue? The siding with Russian imperialism? The Trump Plaza Gaza? Fuck off. Greene has been a fierce MAGA supporter since she hasn't. She's been selling it. This goes, all right. Well, I think, CSL, you may have put this in the thing, and I'm sorry if I missed it. Charlie Kirk talking about, like, where is it? Like, traditional values and, Christianity versus whatever, and they're like, oh, separation of church and state. That was what. So there's a Charlie Kirk video, I think, that was about the separation of church and state, whether that's just for show or that's a real thing or da-da-da. Let me tell you something. The separation of church and state is a material and legal one. It is not a spiritual one. Your religious beliefs can inform your decisions. By God, they should. Wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say? They, if they're worth a damn, the difference is that they don't want God or religion or spirituality or prayer in any of these things. They want sales. They want to name drop Jesus. They want to name drop their God. They want to pray their prayers. It's a sales point because you can't separate if somebody has true religious beliefs that are entwined in their ethics and morals. You can't not have them. You're allowed to do that. As a matter of fact, people are allowed to elect you because they think you're a good Christian man or a good Jewish man or a good Muslim man or a good atheist, right? They're allowed to do that because of your spiritual beliefs or your internal ethics. You just can't sell it. Oh, thank you, CSL. Yeah. This bitch right here. This nonsense. Okay, here we go. This is the ultimate debate. Faith and politics or separation of state. False choice. Let me show you what I mean.
Let's be honest. Most of what comes out behind us, why this country is worth celebrating. That place chops everything out of retirement to save his grandly.
He does this.
You guys have too much of this thing, I'll tell you.
All right, so my name's Derek Stoll, and I'm currently a senior here at A&M. I just had a question. Like, I know you talked a lot about like your faith kind of driving your politics and how important that is to you. And I think when I look at the scriptures, I'm like,
in Charlie Kirk's defense, young man, he has to say that because it is not evident in his behavior. You see, no one would ever get the impression that Charlie Kirk is a good Christian man just by how he acts. You have to hear the words. He'd have to recite a Bible verse for you or wear a fucking t-shirt or you would never know. All right.
Jesus in particular, I think there's a lot of admirable things about what Jesus talks about. Caring for the poor, trying to heal the sick and things like that. I was just
I rest my case.
curious, like, for your faith and political beliefs, like, how does that reconcile? Like, I feel like taking away and like...
Yeah, because you're kind of a shitty person, but you wear a cross like Caroline Levitt.
Advocating for reducing welfare and advocating for kids not having free and reduced lunches and not wanting to expand that program, that kind of seems antithetical to the whole message of Jesus, in my opinion. Do you feel
so
that
you're
way?
fine, fair enough. You're ascribing an intent with our public policy position. Let me be clear. Welfare should be a hand up. It should be a safety net, not a hammock, is the best way I could possibly put it. But I understand the scriptures equally say, if a man does not work, he shall not eat. Repeatedly, Paul says it, said throughout Proverbs. But I guess the question, we both want to help people, right?
Again, this kind of like jumping back and forth, mixing and matching. Mm-hmm. And by the way, the assumption in that Bible verse is that it was an able-bodied man. Also, yes, not the words of Jesus.
Yeah. What is the best way to help people? So we have a case study over 60 years. Is it good for people to be permanently on government assistance? No, it's not. It's really bad.
What's the alternative? What's the alternative? For real. If like, hold on. I don't know why my little thing was. What is it? Mm-hmm. I'll try to boost it a little bit. It's on their kind of thing. Try and raise it up a little bit.
It's bad for them, it's bad for their families, bad for their psyche, bad for their soul, bad for everyone. So then what?
No, it isn't bad for their, no, it's also not bad for their bellies. And so here's the thing. Permanent based on what? If you are incapacitated, you have a disability, then the answer is a direct no. The idea also that what is permanent disability like for a single mom who's on welfare during the time her children, say, are born to the time they leave home or can care for her or can get a job themselves and help her out and that kind of idea. The also is her burden of not being able to work and stuff, their burden from that point on too. Is this just another way of keeping lower middle class people from being able to like climb the hill, right? Secondly, the moral judgment of it is secondary to you. You care for them, not whether or not what they do with it is on them, right? You do it because it's the right thing to do, not because fuck them.
What is the solution? And we have to ask the question, like, has welfare, since we've started this project in the 60s, good intentions, made us a better country? It really hasn't, actually.
Yes, it has. Especially ask all the people who aren't dead. Fuck off. And this is what I mean. If this asshole didn't wear crosses or t-shirts or say he was a Christian, nobody would know even him.
So, number one, I think a vast majority of what the state does, not the state of Texas, but the state, should and can be done by churches and local municipalities.
Yeah, but they're not. Then what? If they're not done by churches and municipalities, fucking like local, like El Paso's got enough money to pay for like homelessness and welfare in a particular area, especially after one fucking flood or one fucking tornado hits a town.
I fully agree that we should help help anyone that's in need. But the first cause to do that should be private charities and churches, not the government. We should not
It is. Nobody, hold on. Is there ever a situation where the state, except maybe in an active flood or disaster zone, where they're stopping churches from handing out food? All right, this motherfucker. If you guys are looking for here you go, boom. There we go. If you're looking for a good organization to, if you're ever in LA and you got a free day, and you want to do some good, stop by Project Angel Food. Project Angel Food started as a service for people with HIV, who were HIV positive or had full-blown AIDS and were homebound and couldn't feed themselves. And they provided hot meals to these people. And many people know that when they moved from their first little, the sort of, I guess it was a little church space they were into, a bigger one, I replaced the sink in the kitchen. I did the carpentry on it a long time ago. And now they've got their own facility and it's really lovely. This is Project Angel Food. And Project Angel Food provides hot meals to people who are homebound and starving. They're not related to a church, even though it says Project Angel Food. It is an AIDS charity that, as it started, and it delivers hot meals to people who need them. And these people include people who are on welfare or who aren't, or people who are, what are effectively, on the margin of that, so that they have to pay for meds and all these other things. They have the ability to do so. You're not leaving them, you're like, well, until you use up every penny you have, we're not giving you an extra one. You know what I mean? Because nobody has room for an emergency. Nobody has room for if the cost of their medication goes up, something like that. All right. So I've volunteered at Project Angel Food over the years, many, many times. Kirsten Vanishness from Criminal Minds and I volunteered once there together. She's a lovely human being. There are a lot of good people. This is the side of Hollywood that Kevin Sorbo has nothing to do with, and nobody talks about when they're busy shitting on what a terrible place it is. That a lot of folks show up and support these things. There is nothing in federal or state policy that says, "Oh, you're getting stuff from Project Angel Food. They're feeding you, so fuck off." There's nothing in that denies, that there's a trade-off. So this dipshit can fill his fucking boots.
Source our compassion to the federal government.
You don't outsource your compassion. Nobody ever does. Nobody ever has. But the resources of the entire country are bigger than especially the most damaged or low-income areas in the fucking country and in the states. And if you want to start going, we need to cut some fuckers off, then go have a conversation with Louisiana, Mississippi, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, like Arkansas, for fuck's sake, right? You're not, this idea that like, the place of welfare queens and people living off the tit is fucking Baltimore, anywhere there's black populations where they fix on it, but like Baltimore, Chicago, LA, San Francisco, whatever, they fixate that's where the money's going. It isn't. And in most cases, those states have enough money coming in to handle a good portion of it. They get some federal money, but they don't get nearly as much as a percentage of their need as Mississippi or Louisiana or Arkansas does. It's the fucking South. This is so fucking lame.
Should be First and foremost, the local church.
Secondly, would you say that the church should do more than they currently do?
Say that again. I can't hear what you're saying.
Would you call for the church to do more than they currently do?
Oh, of course, absolutely.
Okay.
But this is what's important. The church does less as the state does more.
Bullshit. Why? First of all, why should it be on them? We all pay taxes. We can keep our citizenry afloat. What the hell? Why? Lord, before we pray in your blessed name, we just want to give a big shout out to the Department of Energy and the Department of the Interior and the Agricultural Committee for helping SNAP food get everywhere so that we don't have to do that shit anymore. Amen. I hate talking to poor people. Amen. Amen. Like, get the fuck out of here. The church does less. Then your church sucks, fucko.
We see this in Europe. Europe basically has shrunk the church where it is just a husk of its
Yeah, you mean like Italy?
Former self, and it's basically do a couple services and they do almost very little charity.
Yeah, but they shouldn't have to. It shouldn't be the responsibility of the fucking churches. They still do it, but it shouldn't be their responsibility. The husk? What the fuck are you talking about? Church should be a place of spirituality where it informs your ethics and your behavior, and then you go out and fucking behave. And one of the ways you do that is you elect people who won't let poor people starve to death. God damn.
And the reason being is because the government is so big, and they'll just say, oh, the government will provide the health care, and the government will provide this and that. So the church...
When did the fucking church ever provide health care? For real? I mean, snake handling and laying on of hands. You got that demon headaches going down through your spine and coming up through your healed. Yeah.
Doesn't feel compelled to do that. Said differently, the bigger the government, the smaller the church.
Whatever. Yeah, then what the... All right. The bigger the government, the smaller the church. Okay, do Vatican City.
So when you grow government, your church becomes small.
Why? What are you talking about? What the fuck?
We want a big church and a small government. We want
a big church and a small government? Then move to Vatican City. Move to Mecca or Medina.
Church should be more involved, more active. And so if I were just...
Well, then get out of politics, shut your fucking mouth, gather up all these people, get them to come back to your church, and then round them all up in the fucking parking lot and go deliver hot meals, you asshole.
And I think we both want to help people, so...
I don't even know what the fuck these assholes are clapping about. This is fucking embarrassing.
Hypothetically, would I rather have somebody go to a church to go get fed or rather get food stamps? 10 out of 10 times to a church. More
what?
Human connection. They might get saved in the process.
Wait a minute. What? First of all, why the fuck is this even... These are our choices? How about this? How about this, asshole? There's only one church in the generalized area. They couldn't possibly gather enough money to feed all the people around them. And so some people are just going to fucking die. Sorry, our church is just a small congregation in this area. We're just in Owenton, Kentucky, and you know there's a family over here. They got a kid who's in a electric wheelchair that is on disability and all this kind of stuff, and all those programs have been cut. So basically, all of our money to help everybody have a better Thanksgiving or Christmas or start the school year, the charity that we do there, we got to cut that because we're just paying for one fucking kid now because Charlie thinks the government should be small so Russia can drown it in a fucking bathtub.
It's better for the church. It's better for everybody.
No, it isn't. You're silly. This is ridiculous. The idea, by the way, that somehow magically, and I know, I understand magical thinking being as ironic in this particular circumstance, but the idea that if the government just stops, the church will pick up the slack. How? What are you talking about? And also, do they have to come to the church to get their stuff? What if they're not religious? Maybe are they going to force everybody to do it? And that's what they're hoping for, because the attendance is low, and they think that for some reason that people only went to church because of the free cracker and sip of grape juice.
Then just a faceless EBT card that, quite honestly, is nothing more than just a digital transaction.
So I think both.
Okay, yeah. The idea that there's an either or here is just fucking dumb. Secondly, you're right. I think the EBT card should say, thanks, Democrats.
Both of us would agree that the churches should do more to help those
Yes.
in need. Can I ask one more thing?
Sure.
I want to say, I feel like someone embodying Christ and a leader is important. So as far as Donald Trump, what Christ-like characteristics do you feel like he embodies? I feel like oftentimes he uses hateful rhetoric or kind of, the Bible talks.
He lies. He's adulterous. He covets. What does he do, this man you seek? He kills women. Nope. He covets.
It's about the meek shall inherit the earth. I don't really see a lot of meekness in his character. Do you agree with that, or is there anything?
If we're saying that, is Donald Trump humble? No. But
Hey, we're honest here, yeah.
I mean, but I also will say, so I'm going to put this on you for a second. Can you?
What do you think? You think Joe Biden was humble, going to fucking church every Sunday?
Can you think of anything admirable or Christ-like that he?
No, asshole. That's not his job. That's yours. You're the one selling this motherfucker. Can you explain to me why this car why you'd like to have this car? How about this? How about I stop selling this car and you start buying this car from me? Huh? How about that? It'd make my job as a salesman a whole lot easier if you would just, because I don't, honestly, I got nothing. It's got wheels, I suppose. I guess you'd have to use the seat belts for them to work if they, I don't know. I don't know. Why do you think I should sell you this car? Fuck off.
Your body.
I mean, I guess you could say he's bold.
There you go. That's
I
good.
think that's a fair
It's
thing to
definitely
say.
bold.
He's a bold person.
I would say he's courageous. I would say that he's a truth teller.
I don't know if I agree with the truth teller part, but he is a bold
Got it.
person.
Remember,
sure.
they get mad at Trump not because of the lies, it's because of the truth that he tells.
So the Epstein files have come out. Beg your pardon.
But they get really, really mad. Remember,
That's not
it's fine.
necessarily true.
We don't have to debate that. But
Nah, he's just dunking on the dude and being a douchebag. While by the way, turning the question on him because Charlie is chickening the fuck out because of the Epstein shit.
that's not where this conversation is going. I don't want to derail it. But
By the way, that was a very unchristian thing to do. He prescribed a behavior of another group of people to an individual that did not engage in that behavior. He just said, I don't believe that he's a truth teller. That's his opinion. He didn't slander a human being. He said, I don't believe that. That's not slander. That's not bearing false witness. That's expressing your opinion of someone almost without judgment. I don't believe he's a truth teller, and therefore I think he should go to hell, or therefore, right, he lies for Jesus, so he goes straight to heaven, right? It doesn't matter. A lie is a lie, right? So this is, again, example number 975, why Charlie Kirk is a faux Christian.
I would Trump showed courage under fire, literally.
Oh, get out of here. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. They told him the shooter was down. He was surrounded by other human beings using their bodies as shields to get him to a bulletproof, a missile-proof SUV. He didn't go, don't worry about me, go tend to Corey, comparator. Don't worry about me, there are people who've been shot. He's down, don't worry about it, we're good. I'll get to the van myself, go take care of the wounded. That's courageous. Sticking your fucking fist in the air and almost bursting into tears going, fight, 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 and then getting into a fucking car because everyone around you will take a bullet for you is not fucking courageous. It just isn't.
In a very miraculous way. I will say this, though. We all fall short of the glory of God when we try to elect political leaders.
No. You don't get to fall back on faux perfection, you prick.
You're not trying to have a church elder board elected. You want to be president of the United States. Are there examples of people in the scriptures that might be a little rough around the edges, that might be, let's just say, a little...
Hey, asshole. No. He didn't ask about whether they live up to the standard of David or fucking, Matthew or Mark or Luke or John, right? He asked about you try to live up to the standard of Jesus. That's the point. And he doesn't, and here's the thing about Trump. He doesn't even fucking bother. Blessed are the peacemakers, especially the ones who could say they could solve it in an hour, and then when they don't, they go, you know what? It's not my fight anyways. Fuck them. Amen.
A little bit difficult to understand that we're also considered holy or good or faithful. Well, one I would posit to you is a man who made the Hall of Faith in the book of Hebrews, is a guy who also had great hair, Samson. Samson.
Oh, God. This is a stolen story from Greek mythology.
Donald Trump and Samson, both great hair. Samson was literally...
Oh, my God. I'm sorry, did Samson have scalp reduction surgery in the late 80s, early 90s?
In a prostitute's bed when the Spirit of the Lord came upon him and told him to basically go to war for the people of Israel because they were not willing to fight for themselves, took a jaw of a donkey and go and killed a bunch of Philistines. And what Samson was, he was ready, he was willing, he was able. So look, of course, Donald Trump has faults, I have faults, but I will say this, that to have a president...
Also, Old Testament story, fucko. We're talking about Christianity. We're not talking about the Old Testament at all. There's a bunch of shit in the Old Testament that was zeroed out by Jesus Christ. That's why they fucking killed him. Effectively, he took all the power out of the monarchical aspect of a monotheistic system. I'm the child of God directly, but you're all the children of God, and go pray in a closet. You don't need somebody to tell you. Just hold these tenets, and you'll be a decent person, and we'll recognize it. Good Lord.
That does things in advancement of our value system, not just says things, I would consider be far better for those of us as Christians than, and I'm going to make some enemies here, than somebody like George W. Bush, who said all the right stuff, but he never spoke at the March for Life, and gave us questionable Supreme Court justices, and gave us, unfortunately, a very reckless foreign war in Iraq that caused a lot of unjust human suffering. So the question is...
That Obama got us out of, and then Biden got us out of Afghanistan. Trump did neither. He also, at the same time, lied that he had signed the VA Choice Act of 2014. Trump did. He lied. He stole valor from other people, as it were.
And it's something to think about. Would you rather, let's say it's George W. Bush or Donald Trump? George W. Bush says the right stuff. He's more Christ-like in that presentation way. But how he governed was actually, I would say, oppositional to what I would want to see.
I guess I just also put a lot of value on the way that you present things and the way that you make people feel with the words you say, and speaking, words, the Bible talks about speaking life with your words, and I feel like Donald Trump often does not speak life with his words.
Yeah, this kid goes to church for real. This is one of those kids. This kid goes to church for real. As with his family, this is Texas. This kid goes to actual church, not phony baloney, borderline multi-level marketing church like Charlie Kirk does.
I get your point, it's all about action. Actions speak louder than words.
Words matter, but I think actions matter more.
Words isn't biblical, which kind of is that doesn't represent what you feel like morality and the way that country should be dictated.
Well, let's play that out. So it's actually both. So what did Christ say were the two commandments, the two teachings that of all the cult teachings matter? They were actually action related. Love your neighbor as yourself, and love the Lord your God with their heart, soul, strength, and mind. Those are both.
Right. And what if your neighbor is poor? And so let's just say you have food. You have more food. You are still hungry. You would eat more food, right? So you have a plate of food. You have eaten half of it. You are hungry still. And therefore, you will continue to eat. You will give yourself that extra food while you are still hungry. Now, what if your neighbor is hungry and you finished eating, and your neighbor is still hungry. Huh? You see where I'm... What a fucking tool.
Action related. And so, do words matter? Of course words matter.
Also, by the way, love is not an action. I mean, it is sometimes. All right. L-O-V-E, all I need's my love machine, no. I got to sing a Wasp song when people are talking about Jesus. But no, those are directives that lead to action. If he had any fucking brains, he could decide that loving your neighbor means not enabling him to be a drug addict. That's how it's been used in the past to try and limit those things, right? But it's not an action. It's a motivator. It's the thing as an actor you think of before they say action, and you... All right.
But I would argue the Bible actually does have a heavy emphasis on action, on doing good and helping the poor and healing the sick.
Yeah, and one of the ways you can do that is vote for people who will put programs in place that you don't have to worry about them and worry about whether there's money in the collection plate or whether a factory shuts down in your town and the church will have to pick up the slack when there's no money or resources to go around. The government can do that because you've elected people who give a fuck.
Not just words. Words do matter. I totally agree. But words without action or words given more preference than action, I actually don't necessarily.
This is just, I gotta say, this is the most vapid pile of shit answer I've heard him give in ages. And it was like, I have to say, the title, The Ultimate Debate, Faith in Politics or Separation of State, that wasn't even touched upon in this fucking video. But here's my opinion on it, and which is, of course, the right one, is that whatever your spiritual beliefs are, whatever your ethical beliefs are, they should inform your behavior if you truly believe them, and they should be self-evident to anyone who asks you about it. They should go, I noticed you seem really happy and content and whatever, what's your secret? You seem like, you ain't one of those Christians, are you? You're like, actually, I am. Yeah, and that's how it informs what I do or whatever. It isn't like, oh, I noticed you're wearing the John 3:16 shirt. Is that wrestling or is that the Bible thing? Oh, it's the Bible thing. So you're one of these like NASCAR Christians, right? All sales, no product. And that's what Charlie Kirk is. This kid, I will give credit to. It seems like to me, in the limited answer he got, even while Charlie Kirk is maligning him like the coward that he is, and it's like this vapid attack on this fucking kid who's simply trying to say, like, live your values. And then maybe other people will join you in those values because they will see the works. That's the old idea, like faith without works is nothing. What they mean is like, this pious act that these fuckers put on, right, is immaterial. What do you do? And if you're saying it's act, then yes, if love thy neighbor is a call to action, how are you showing that? By going, I hope the church takes care of it. It's not really my problem. I'm not going to vote for anybody that does, though. If somebody tries to put a program in place that's just always there, helping people who are in danger or in need, fuck them, right? That's what he's saying. All yak and no shack. It's more sick man babies that never had to work a day in his life telling others to believe, capping on, uneducated ones. Yeah, I agreed. Or there are a bunch of people, I would say, and we run into this kind of with the future is female, yes, queen, is that when we start talking about, like, we need to give black women more of a voice, and somebody goes, yeah, like Candace Owens, and you're like, okay, tap the brakes. You can't just dive in on color mattering all of a sudden or sex mattering blankly, right? You also can't say that you're experiencing diversity if you just find somebody who looks different from you or comes from a different background but sounds exactly like you. That ain't diversity, right? That's what these guys are afraid of. I don't mind meeting people in the middle. I don't expect everybody to like what I like or do what I do. And I would hope not, because, you know, if you breed in that kind of a singularity, you breed in weakness. Right? That's crucial. Is that you need other people to go, I don't know, I don't think that'll work at all. So you can bounce your idea off of them, even if it makes your idea, you do come to terms that, like, my idea was the best one, and it does work, and it is, of course, the only way to go, and he's just flapping. Even that just flapping part helps move the conversation along, because it's a way of kicking the tires before the car trip. You're checking the vehicle out, right? You're doing your pre-flight check. That's what democracy is about. It's the pre-flight check. Go around, make sure there's fuel in the plane, the wings are solid, the ailerons work, the controls are good, the radio's squawking, right? You got to do all those things. And there may be different people in charge of it, or different people who prioritize one of those things over the other, but they're all necessary to keep hybrid vigor, exactly. To keep that plane in the sky, right? Bible slogans don't fix problems, actions do. Well, no slogans of any kind fix problems, but they can motivate people to fix problems, right? So they play a crucial part. They can also de-incentivize people. I mean, there are Bible verses, like he was quoting, that if you quote them out of context, you almost get the idea that, you know, that Jesus said, fuck them, right? That's what he was going for. There's also, you could read Ayn Rand and how she talks about, you know, people, like she calls Christians the R word. So they're mentally challenged if you believe in any religion at all. And she thinks altruism is a mental defect. Giving to others. It's a zero-sum game, and you can keep all this, right? That's the thing, right? It's dog eat dog, according to her, right? Well, you could read that, be incensed by it, right? You could be horrified by what she wrote, and ironically, her words would incentivize you to be more charitable, right? That's possible. You could argue that some people are taught the Bible when they're growing up and grow to hate it because of the hypocrisy they see around them, or because they were abused, right? And in the context of it, and therefore they take it out on the rest of the world by being evil, or doing anything antithetical to what's in the Bible, even the good stuff, or writing it all off because of that damage, right? Yes, Rand ended up on public assistance. She's the argument for limiting welfare, sure. But this is, it's an important factor in this. And it also proves that this is all just for fucking show. This is all, it's a lie. Let me see if I can get this. So Andrew Sullivan is kind of the, you know how we were looking at, like, who's trying to be the next Alex Jones? So everybody kind of was carving off a chunk of the buffalo, that when Alex Jones went down, everybody was like, I'll take a leg, I'll take the liver, I'll take the horns, whatever. And you've got, like, Joe Rogan being like the roid Alex Jones, and Russell Brand being the hippie cult leader Alex Jones, and Tucker Carlson being the dweeb Alex Jones, right? Andrew Schultz is like the metrosexual Alex Jones, right? They're all just cutting a chunk of that audience off for themselves and just dividing up the teen boy manosphere. And this is a clip from Flagrant. Was Epstein a CIA asset? Schultz breaks it down. Now, that's a big promise. He breaks it down. So if you're going to break it down, I want details. You might need a fucking blackboard like Glenn Beck has, right? But if you're going to break it down, I'm willing to hear it. Also, they're all wearing tinfoil hats in this because they make this joke about like time to put on your tinfoil hat, and they do it, and then it's like they have the right to speak freely about the craziest shit. It's a good gimmick. I get it. But I don't know how long they've been doing it, but I've seen a couple of segments. But here we go.
Let's go through both scenarios.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go for the first one of covering it up.
Yeah.
So what does covering it up mean?
Either there's an intelligence operation that's happening within the United States that is aiding and abetting the exploitation of children. It's not great. Our taxpayer dollars go to this in some type of CIA black budget. So we're now complicit in this thing, but it's for the greater good of America.
Right.
So we kind of are like, oh, fine. Or Trump is implicated in some direct way because obviously he knew Jeffrey Epstein from back in the day, or both of those things.
So let's talk about these two scenarios.
Okay, so that one or the other. And by the way, there's a myriad of other ones. Epstein was a Putin asset, absolutely. That's why he transferred his money through Russian banks on his way out. He was friends with Putin's banker who runs the St. Petersburg Economic Forum. He was partially responsible for maybe bringing girls to the St. Petersburg Economic Forum in between his arrest the first time and his death, his second arrest. He's wearing a tinfoil hat. They made little hats for themselves. And the other guy's got like tinfoil on his crotch because he's covering both heads. That's the joke, I guess. I don't know what the lead in is, but that's where they're going. But he's going to explain why these are the two options. There are several other options. One is the CIA was like aware of this dude, but they only deal with things outside the country. The FBI knew what was going on, but could only act on it beyond what the SDNY allow them to do. They're the investigative arm. That's why the Federal Bureau of Investigation, not the Federal Bureau of Prosecution, right? So they can only investigate. They have to hand it off to the DOJ. And both times when they would hand it off to the DOJ, who was fucking in charge, right? Donald Trump and Bill Barr in the first case, and now Donald Trump and Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi, who could have torn up the non-prosecution agreement when she was AG of Florida, but didn't for some fucking reason.
So, if this is an intelligence operation, like I remember when people were blaming it on Israel, it would be better if it was another country.
It was Russia, like specifically. I mean, he was probably, they were aware of, because he had different people, so it wasn't even about him. It was about the person that he was implicating, controlling, or getting money from, and where their wealth sat, more than likely.
Like, wouldn't you rather your own country not be the one that was plotting, planning, and exploiting these little girls like this?
Right. False narrative, just like a direct fabrication. They weren't plotting and planning and all this kind of stuff. And notice how it's the government and the CIA now and not Donald John fucking Trump. Why isn't that disturbing? You motherfuckers helped get him elected. You were patting yourself on the back that you helped him get elected. Specifically, him, not Republicans, not MAGA, not the whole shift in government. You didn't drain the swamp or get rid of the fucking deep state all of a sudden, right? How about just Donald Trump, the guy you had on your fucking show?
You would hope it was another country. But let's say, for example, it is an American intelligence. Maybe.
Or an American with no intelligence who happens to live in a fucking event space in West Palm Beach.
Maybe it's America and Israel. That's kind of what it feels like. I mean, there's like an insane amount of ties.
What it feels like. Thanks. Where's Ben Shapiro when you need
Israel
him?
In this. But let's say it is an intelligence operation, like you just said, that our taxpayer dollars are going towards the sex and abuse of children.
Apparently, the industry, the web shut it down. Is this where it froze? Hold on. I don't know why this would be.
Sex and abuse of children. Do they have this conversation with Cash, Bongino, Trump, and the administration and basically go, what do you want to do, guys?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell the entire country that the CIA and potentially the FBI
and that guy sitting right there in the presidential seat behind the Resolute desk are involved? That guy, not the fucking the Pentaverate or the swamp or the fucking Illuminati, the eyes wide shut wing of the CIA. Trump, the dude right there.
That our organizations were doing this and that we're in on this and this is how ugly we are. What will that mean for the rest of the world? How will the rest of the world view us?
Fuck them. What? You don't get. All right. You don't get punished for never making a mistake. You get punished for hiding a mistake or pretending it wasn't a mistake, if it was indeed a mistake. If somebody's doing something bad, you get points for shutting it down, no matter how deep it goes. You do. The fuck are you talking about?
What are we capable of? We're supposed to be the good guys.
Had Terramar, have you ever checked that out? Terramar. I don't know. Is that a kind of fish bait? What is that? Sorry.
Supposed to be heroes. What is the collateral damage of sharing this with the world? Do you think they share that information with Trump? I'm just asking you guys. Like, I just want to explore that one for a second.
I mean, if you'd imagine that in order to keep the files from coming out, it's got to go all the way to the top, is my assumption. Unless there's some type of like hidden agreement where it's like, hey, we're going to protect him from information so that he doesn't sound crazy and he can just kind of run with whatever the mainstream narrative is. But the fact that his tune is even switched up leads me to believe that he has some info.
He knows something.
Gee, really? Oh my God. Have you ever thought about having Marjorie Taylor Greene come on your show? Apparently she thinks she's discovered sexism within the Republican Party.
So the reason he knows it because he's like, we're gonna showcase, we're gonna talk about this guy. They ran on it. They ran on cleaning out the swamp. They ran on all these.
They brought all the influencers, gave them all binders with all the shit that was all redacted.
Do you remember this?
Yeah.
They tried to.
I don't know. Do I
promote this? Like they were building this excitement up for us to just get, I don't know, what is it? What is the term? Like the wind taken out of our sails?
Yeah.
Whatever. So the fact that his tune has changed from, hey, let's have a social media moment with the binders to, you guys are still talking about this guy? Yeah, we're talking about it because of you.
Yeah.
You're the one that keeps the conversation.
No. Not just because of him. For real. It's not just because Trump brought it up. First of all, Trump didn't, compared to other people. Like, he brought it up in 2015 about Clinton because he thought it'd be a good, slash across the bow, and then he didn't expect to win in many ways and was going to go back to just being like, start whispering to Page Six and shit like that. And he figured he created enough distance from himself during that period. And he was still friends with the fucking guy.
Conversation going when you hand out the binders to the social.
Yeah, he didn't talk about it. Cash Patel did. Dan Bongholio did. These guys were selling the shit out of it, right? And he hired those people. That's why you got it. Yeah, that's why. Oh, I see. You mean the Telomar Project. They founded the Terramar Project. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing about like owning the ocean, right? And Trump brought that up, right? Remember I think there was a, Ghislaine Maxwell founded it. Hold on. Shit. Hold on. I want to look at something real quick. Because, let's see. What is it? Unlocks access to the thing. Transmitting towards seabed mining. Rush to, yeah. And deep sea mining. Let's see. Trump says on the oceans. Yeah. So ocean policy approach carries everybody to the maritime deep sea thing. Because at one point it's been so long. Yeah. Various contexts sometimes reflecting desire for greater U.S. access. In essence, Donald Trump's ocean policy. Yeah. He mentioned at one point we should be able to own the oceans. And like own the ocean, around your, like beyond just around the country, like buy chunks of the ocean, like land in the middle of things, as opposed to the whole world owning it. And that comes kind of from this sort of Terramar Project idea.
Social media influencers.
Yep.
You're the one that keeps the conversation going when your
FBI director goes on podcast and says nothing happened, he killed himself. Yep.
Yeah, bro. Like, bro. I mean, bro. Like, bro. I was just, because you're just like watching, you're like, bro. I was like, here's what I go, bro. I'm like broing right now. It's like so hard. And I'm like, bro, what were we even talking about, bro?
Okay. So it has to go to him. Especially for him to go, why are you guys still talking about this? Because you wanted us to talk about it.
Yeah.
You promoted it.
Yeah.
I just want to know why you guys are in an Arab bathhouse. Just curious. This looks like, you look like you're broadcasting from Epstein Island. I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm the first, I'll be the one to say it. Finally, we're all thinking it. Andrew Sullivan, live from Epstein Island. Apparently he bought it. And they're doing it straight from that little weird blue temple.
There is a possibility that it's not directly CIA or FBI. Sometimes this happens with like military ops where like former agency guys will go off and create a shell company that kind of operates in like the gray area of the...
Yeah, I've seen Under Siege. It's one of the better Steven Seagal movies before he lost his fucking mind.
Law.
Yeah.
And they'll do operations, and typically it's like surveillance and shit like that. And
Typically.
the CIA will contract them. And so they operate kind of as a
Like Palantir.
private company that can't be FOIA'd. They can't have all their files taken out. And the CIA still gets all the information.
But either way, it's still CIA.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
Sure. But it just gives a separation for them.
Sure. But
Epstein was doing this for over 25 years. Like they know.
Right.
Listen,
he's
you
given
can't
sweetheart
operate-
deals,
Yeah.
of course.
Alex Acosta.
Yeah, what kind of an asshole would hire Alex Acosta and put him in their administration? You know what I mean? Fucking, right?
Said on record. We have this on record. Alex
No, you don't.
Acosta was, I think, at the time, the district attorney in Palm Beach?
Yeah, Miami, Palm Beach. Something
Yeah. And then later was about to be...
Secretary of Labor?
Yes. And then had to step down.
For who? Who hired him to be Secretary of Labor? I don't remember. I just remember that when he was brought in to be Secretary of Labor, he replaced a dude who was accused of beating his wife and kids.
Because of the connections. I think he was Secretary of Labor and then had to step down.
Yeah.
But he said he was the guy who gave his...
You think? You don't know that before, say, you have Trump on your show to try and sell him to the American people?
sweetheart deal to Epstein. He said, I did it because I was told he was intelligence.
No, he didn't. No one told him he was intelligence. The phrase that we've heard repeatedly is he belonged to intelligence. There is no direct quote from him on that, and it has since been walked back. And nobody admits to it, even if he was. So no. And the idea is that he said something along those lines to a reporter and had to walk it back to cover his own ass. Maybe it was because he belongs to the CIA, or maybe it's just because Alex Acosta was doing his buddy Donald Trump a fucking solid. And he got paid for it. He got a cush, borderline no-show fucking job in the Trump administration. The only thing these motherfuckers give less of a shit about than education is labor. He did Trump and Epstein a favor, and Trump paid him back with a job in the government. This isn't even hard.
I was told to back off.
Because he was intelligence.
No, because he belonged to intelligence, meaning that they had access and it's above your pay grade, so step down. Not that he was intelligent. It's so fucking stupid.
Said that is
It kind of, like, I know this is like splitting hairs, but if you're going to quote an apocryphal quote in the first place, at least get the first version of it right. Otherwise, we're just playing a fucking game of telephone.
that you cannot wipe that clean from the record. Yeah. That has been said.
And unsaid.
By I don't want to say trusted source, but a source that is reliable and knows the weight of their words.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think...
Sure, who would that be? Tell us. Who's the person that has the weight of their words and a trusted source? You said they're a trusted source. You said trusted and source? Or weight of their words? Something like that? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Who is this person you're talking about? Who, the trusted source? Tip of your tongue. Just say it.
That was in the hearings to become Trump's labor secretary.
Oh, I thought that was okay, but go on.
I think while they're interviewing him, they're like, by the way, what was up with the sweetheart deal? Da 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 da. What
Nope.
was up with the Epstein thing? Because they're looking at his whole career. And a kid,
you
I
check
think
that,
you
Joe?
looked at. I would double check.
I think
Yeah, somebody might want to check that. Somebody might want to. Yeah.
he also said that
at the time.
at the time when he gave him the sweetheart deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because people were upset about that.
Right. And so, yeah, from my understanding, while he's in the briefing with the Trump cabinet team, he basically was like, yeah, I was told to stand down.
Yeah.
From someone above me. I think it was like the exact quote.
So to me, I think that's where we can have some confidence that he does have connections to the intelligence community.
Nope. No, we can't. Not from a half-assed, unsourced quote from somebody you don't even fucking know who says it. Okay, hold on. That. One moment. Okay, Vicky Ward from is the person who first reported the quote in 2019, around the time that Epstein died, in July of 2019. He was dead in August, right? And that she said, this is her, according to Ward's reporting, when Acosta was asked during the transition whether the Epstein case was going to cause a problem for confirmation hearings, he reportedly explained that he had been told to back off, that Epstein was above his pay grade, and said that I was told Epstein belonged to intelligence and to leave it alone. That's the quote we've heard before. Not that he was intelligence, but that it was above his pay grade, he belonged to intelligence, and leave it alone. That was the quote. Okay, one, it's an anonymous source from Vicky Ward. I don't think that automatically disputes it, but they could have been bullshitting her because they knew it was off the record. Alex Acosta. The reporting appears to be second or third-hand information from unnamed sources within the Trump transition team. Acosta has denied it. According to a 2020 Department of Justice official Office of Personal Responsibility report, Acosta denied that Epstein was an intelligence asset. That was under oath when speaking directly. That wasn't talking to the transition team. That was talking under oath. So he may have, I think there's a chance that he may have been bullshitting the transition team to cover his own ass. But when he had to actually speak in a real investigation, he went, no, that didn't happen. I didn't say that. That didn't happen. There is no official confirmation. The OPR report stated that it found no evidence that Epstein was a cooperating witness or an intelligence asset. So they didn't hear it from him and they didn't hear it from anybody else. And then some observers have noted that the dialogue itself seems more out of Hollywood than something you'd hear from a former U.S. attorney, whatever that means, and that Acosta is hardly reliable as a fact witness in the case, which I would also agree with. And since he has every reason to deflect responsibility for the deal he made with Epstein, I think he laid out this an excuse. I think he did Trump and Epstein a solid, and Trump rewarded him with a fucking job. That's what I think. Anyways, Vicky Ward, Daily Beast, 2019. That's where the quote comes from. Second or third hand from someone who was in the transition team or spoke in and around the transition team. And there you go. Yes, anonymous. Epstein is alive. That's where I'm leaning. If you want to talk about tinfoil hat, I mean, we can talk about these all you want because there's no weight on the circumstance. But yeah, my bet is he's around with a new nose and he's on a boat someplace.
Yes. Right? Mm-hmm. So bare minimum, there's connections. Maximum, this is this like massive blackmail ring. It's not only black.
No, bare minimum, Alex Acosta is lying his ass off to cover the fact that he and everybody else in that West Palm Beach, New York circle that they all operated in was up to their waist in underage girls, and it maybe him too. And they're covering for themselves. That would be the minimal version of this. There's nothing to this shit. And the maximum version of it is that he is an asset that they controlled like they did Saddam Hussein or any other number of fucking evil people over the years. And that he might have been a dual agent for Russia.
Real blackmail.
Which seems the most likely, considering his relationship to Putin's banker, his bringing girls to the St. Petersburg Economic Forum, his running his money through Russia, just like Trump did. That Trump and him having the same Deutsche Bank fucking banker who also shuffled money through, and they got busted for money laundering for Russians, right?
They've inserted themselves in governments, they inserted themselves in royal family, they inserted themselves in like American intelligentsia, the highest levels of our universities. Like this is everywhere, right?
So which one of you guys is a high-level pedophile controlling? Which one of these four guys is the pedophile that's supposed to report back to Pedo Central? I mean, the obvious thing would be to go with the guy who has a connection to mustache. Because everybody grows a BTK mustache these days. But
not just as much as like, you're a president, let me go fuck you.
Right.
Let me get you to fuck a girl. It's everybody. It's like inserting yourself in every piece of like influence in American culture.
Yeah.
And the world around.
Yeah.
Yes, insurance. There's people, there's pedos running, the janitorial services everywhere, just everywhere. Like, and again, I find this hard to believe that there is, considering the volume of victims that most people who are caught doing this shit have, and my own natural proclivities towards liking adult women, and my total lack of biological understanding for the attraction towards children. I do not have it. I will never have it. I don't even have to exercise the thought to know this. It just seems peculiar. And, it's like, to me, that's like, lusting after a mailbox or a tree as far as its biological reaction in my system. Like, it makes no fucking sense, right? But to think that they're everywhere, don't you kind of have to be one or be one adjacent? You know what I mean? Because maybe the reason I don't think there are as many as there might be is because I can't imagine feeling that way. So why would anybody? I used to remember when I was it occurred to me, I think in high school, that I was like, why doesn't everybody want to be an actor? Right? I couldn't picture it because I love acting so much. I'm like, why wouldn't everybody want to do this? But there's a bunch of people who's like petrified by the very idea. So it was very hard for me to understand, right? How you don't get what I'm attracted to and what I want to do in my life, much less whatever your type is, right? That kind of thing. As far as your contemporaries, as far as mates and that kind of stuff, much less when you're older. And so I honest to fucking God, it boggles my mind. I find it grotesque and alien in that regard. These guys all seem to think it's really fucking plausible. Did you ever notice that? They're like, yeah, I can believe everybody's a pedophile. Why? What's the appeal? That there are that many people like that? I mean, there's monsters of all sorts out there. You know what I mean? Like, this is like hearing serial killers talk and going, yeah, I mean, I think, everybody's got to kill everybody. At some point, like, some people just got to die and you just got to kill them all like God sorted them out, yeah? Like, that's how they would think because they think everybody wants to kill just like them. I don't understand it. And when they seem to think it's everywhere, that's when I get very suspect of the person saying that.
Okay, so Trump either is told that if we release the details on this,
everyone will see the photographs of you and underage girls with Epstein while they laugh at the cum stain on your crotch. Do you guys think he knows that detail? I was about to say story, but it's a detail. That evidence, that bit of evidence from Michael Wolff because Michael Wolff has seen those photographs himself?
It will destroy confidence in America at home and abroad.
Yeah.
Because what country?
First of all, what country? First of all, dude, you think this shit doesn't happen in other countries? That's the point, is that they think there's a global cabal running all this shit.
Runs a child fucking blackmail ring on its own people.
Yeah.
Right, and the Chinese and the Russians will go, and they got caught. How pathetic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a tough look. And that says a lot.
We do it all the time, but no one ever looks the other way. How do you think we got Scott Ritter to kiss our ass all the fucking time?
Because, you know, most military budgets go towards pretty awful things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, yeah.
Yeah, but not. I mean, this is like, this is the bro science of military stuff. Like, war is terrible. Okay, are both sides terrible if one side attacks the other? Is the party defending themselves from the attack terrible equally? Is every bullet they fire just as evil as the one that was fired at them in the first place? Morally? No. It's just stupid. Meanwhile, these fuckers think every kid should be handed a gun when they're 9 years old and allowed to walk around with it.
We're cool killing kids over there. You know what I mean?
Fucking them here.
Yeah, dude, just do the Iraqis. Don't do us.
Yeah. Yeah, like what would the collateral damage of that be? How would we react to that? What if we found out our alphabet agencies were doing that? Like,
dude, you can't even deal with the fact that Trump was his goddamn wingman. What the fuck? Stop it. Stop CIA, government, FBI, fucking, bullshit, coast to coast, Alex Jonesing it. Stop. Settle in. You got one problem. You helped Trump get elected. He's in the files. Go. That's it, man. We'll worry about the fucking CIA. You assholes got him elected, and he's the one shutting it down. The fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, it wouldn't be ideal.
The thing I don't get is that what new information happened, because Trump's first 4 years, this is when he got locked up. This is when he would have been told already.
That's also true, yeah.
That, hey, he's intelligence, this can compromise us, don't release it. So
And
then
then
why
he
would you
continues to run on it.
Then
That's
why
true.
run on this?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
He didn't. The people around him did. They forced the issue. When he was asked on Fox and Friends, he was like, I think maybe, I don't know, there's a lot of fake shit in there. I don't know, but the RFK shit, absolutely. He didn't run on it. He dropped it in 2015, all that like Bill Clinton and the island stuff, that was before. He didn't think they were actually going to go for it. And then when they raided his island and they raided his house in New York and his place in West Palm Beach, the stuff that they did gather, Trump got real fucking quiet, real fucking quick.
I think that. Okay, so let's go through that difference here. They're
just so trying to like, how do I say that? How do I pretend to not be a fucking idiot and refuse to acknowledge that Donald Trump was the guy's best friend?
It's a version where it's like, because I've said this even before the pod, where it's the Democrats in the Biden administration had access to this, right?
They did. They prosecuted Ghislaine Maxwell with it. She got 20 years, and the victims were doing civil cases to get money from Epstein's, the trust that that controls most of his shit. Yeah. Also, there's a very strong chance that a lot of the stuff that was gathered while Trump was president was disposed of, and they're having a hard time finding it.
And if Trump
or the copies of it
was in it, this is like a piece of logic. If Trump was in it or connected, they would have used it against him. Like they used everything against him. They went after him for money. They went after him for, the complete power of the justice.
Oh, you mean raping E. Jean Carroll? They went after him for that? Who's they? You mean her? She filed a civil suit against him and won, and he's an adjudicated rapist because of that. They went after him for fraud because it's really fucking obvious he was lying to the banks and lying to the IRS in both directions.
System and any other system they had at their disposal.
They? Who fucking they?
they used against Trump.
Unless your guys are also implicated.
I didn't consider that. I thought that Trump was clean from it because he had rallied against it so hard. He'd ran on it. All the people that he's hiring are people that are going after it and essentially promoting themselves on it, right? But there is a version where it's like, what is it? It's like a mutual assured destruction.
Yeah.
So it is nukes on everybody.
No. No, and on the Democratic side, we don't give a fuck. Goodbye. What are they worried about? Bill Gates and Reid Hoffman losing their money, I guess, is the idea? Nope. Goodbye. Purge City. Democrats would benefit so much if they're like, nope, we're getting rid of everybody. Bye.
So therefore, they're like, we could go after Trump with this, but by exposing Trump as part of this thing, it might expose all the other people or confirm that it is an actual blackmail ring. And once it's confirmed that it is an actual blackmail ring, we got to see how far this goes.
Yeah. And it might not even implicate like Democrat politicians. Like it likely does, but it doesn't necessarily need to, because by our guys, you could just mean the U.S. government.
Yes. The intelligence.
What? Yeah, CIA, totally CIA. Just in general.
Community is involved in it. Okay.
I think it's either U.S. government or rich donors.
Let's go through both.
God damn. Like, how about it's Trump and his buddies? And the reason it didn't come out during the Democratic years was because a large portion of the stuff around Ghislaine Maxwell's trial, which is what ate up most of the Epstein evidence that they had, was sealed by the judge until January of 2024, last year. And the election was in full swing already. And so the idea of like sifting and dumping this as a last-ditch effort to go after the fucking dude. And the idea is also like that they're worried about losing somebody else in the same time. Nobody would have that. Shit, if Democrats had come out and gone, it's Bill Clinton, it's Bill Gates, it's fucking Reid Hoffman, and these fuckers, and it's fucking Eric Weinstein or whoever the fuck, and they all went down there and with Woody Allen and they're, fuck them. The maggots would have jumped on board and voted for Democrats for that. Hal, at what age were you attracted to girls? I was 6. But I was below the age of consent. I just knew that I loved a girl. Yeah. Tammy Lily was my first crush. So, yeah. That's why I believe that, like, gay people are gay and that, you know, that, like, you don't have to do conversion therapy. Like, if I can know that about myself, why wouldn't they know that about themselves? Right? Why wouldn't you know that? Doesn't mean you can consent to sex with an adult just because you know you're attracted. That's fucking stupid, right? I know I liked cars, for example. I knew I liked cars and the idea of driving, but I had no business with my brain still cooking and my body size being what it was to be behind the wheel of a fucking motor vehicle, right? I had 2 wives in kindergarten. I didn't know you were Mormon. There you go. Oh, Linda Carter was... like 2 years after that, she was my big celebrity crush. Yeah, her and Aaron Gray. We've done this before. Brutal. So yeah, right? Yeah. Why are you having a conniption fit? What was wrong with Al Franken? Nothing actually. I think he was. I think they didn't know how to message it at the time because the Me Too thing was overwhelming and women weren't being heard in general, so we overcompensated. And it was you could weaponize it. Like basically, it was weaponized against other people because they didn't want malicious actors wanted to use that thing to bring it down, right? Yeah. So it was Joy from the Bookhal. That's funny. Hal, did you watch Dear Kelly documentary? Dear Kelly. I don't think so. If I'm reading that right. Sometimes, is that a typo or is that a real thing? I don't think so. Aaron Gray was on Buck Rogers. Yeah. Christine Applegate was Christine Applegate's a lovely human being. Yeah, she was Colonel Wilma Deering. That's right. Lindsay Wagner, gorgeous as well. Very Bailey from WKRP, bringing us back to this conversation we had this morning, right? Now, I don't know. Is this the same? They're using the same intro on this. I don't think. Maybe they're replaying it or whatever. But well, is this? Yeah, Benny Johnson. This is just yesterday, so I guess not. Benny Johnson is playing this little like it's Hillary coming to kill. Like this is his joke, and it's so fucking weird because nobody ever accused Hillary Clinton of being involved in Epstein at all, right? Why wouldn't you have it be Bill? Well, I'll tell you why you don't want it to be Bill, because he was already president for 8 years and he's male. But this is a woman, and you'll never pass up an opportunity to shit on a woman when you're Benny Johnson, right?
What's up, guys? Spenny. We are living in an era of cratered trust in the corporate media. That's why channels like ours are, well, growing so quickly and so strongly because...
Oh, yeah. That whole thing about how your subscriber numbers have gone up like 2 million, but your viewer counts haven't, Benny? It feels like Tenet Media has found another way to pay you. Kind of calling bullshit on this. Also, it's interesting that if you're going to claim that your numbers have gone up and people are trusting you more, it's because you're diving into the Epstein stuff and you're making the connection that Trump is involved.
We are trying our very level-headed best to ask the questions consistently, no matter who's in charge, about what the hell happened to people like Jeffrey Epstein. We ask a lot of uncomfortable...
Yeah, I don't think you give a shit about people like Jeffrey Epstein. I think it's the actual dude, right?
Questions around here. But we're not scared of these topics because you're interested in them and we serve you, not the power.
Is this translated directly from Russian or?
Powerful, we don't lick the boots. So when we have Epstein's former lawyer on the stream live, Alan Dershowitz, we asked him this and the answer stunned us. We said, do you think Epstein killed himself?
Stunned us? Why? Who the fuck? Why are you talking yourself in the plural? Does this asshole use they, them pronouns? That is so 2024.
It's possible. You have been a skeptic about the official Epstein story for a long time.
Have been. I'm not a skeptic about the fact that he didn't do it alone. He could not have simply killed himself alone. If he killed himself, it was with the assistance of some guards. Some guards have been disciplined for turning off their...
He's wowing his own... He's hearing it for the first time after hearing it for the first time. Is he trying to sound like Rob Lowe? He wishes.
Videos and for other actions that allowed him to kill himself. But it wouldn't surprise me if somebody managed to get into the prison and kill him, because I don't understand.
Or get him out of there, since they were breathing him with a bag when he left and he was supposedly already dead. Who does that? Who does this on a dead body? He's dead. Who gives a shit? It's a dead pedophile. Like, maybe there's still something left in him. Give up, Sam. God damn it. He's got to live. Why? I really can't think of a reason, honestly.
Motive would have been, he could have killed himself at any time. And if he was going to be let out on bail, then why would he kill himself? So I've always had my doubts, my questions, but it's certainly plausible that he may have killed himself.
It's plausible that he could have killed himself at any time, says Dershowitz. So
yeah, we saw that part. You do realize the video is playing for us as well, right? What a strange little man.
Why do it in the worst possible way?
Is there a great possible way? He hung himself in his cell in the best possible way. Sorry, where's the meter on this?
In a prison system where you're going to have to physically break your own neck with the insane amount of prison linens that you've been given. This is allegedly the noose they cut down from Jeffrey Epstein's neck. Doesn't show that it's cut, though. That's strange, isn't it? No blood on it. Apparently he broke he went so hard on this 4-foot bunk that it broke his neck bones. See that? That's what he used to break his neck bones, even though he's a 6-foot tall man. None of it makes any sense, and we got to give credit where credit is due here. If you look at the actual evidence, there have been some people, and CBS News has been one of those outlets.
Oh, yeah, wait. So, like, he's covering this again? Yeah. This is just another clip of the same thing? Okay, never mind. Like, he's basically overlapping. Let me do... Because... all right, let me see if there's this. Yeah. Hold on one second. Because I want to show you... I'm running out of time. I'm like, fuck, I have 15 minutes left because there's so much to do here. One of the things is that... let me show you... this is... Sorry about this, but this is his neck bones, which are connected to the head bone, I think, if I remember my anatomy. I don't know where Glenn is. Apparently, he's been kicked out of the house. But he's talking with his head writer dude about this is them still trying to polish this this turd about the Obama Clinton conspiracy, Russiagate, blah blah blah. You know how, like, if something's simple, you could probably, like, my videos are long because I deal with these clips and I go through and I break down each lie. That's my purpose. So I don't need to concisely sell a point of view. I'm threading it through the whole thing. But when your deal is to, like, break something down or sell it back to the people, this video is titled, What Everyone is Missing About the Durham Annex Release, okay? Where they explain why it's important. Okay? It's 38 fucking minutes long. This is almost 40 minutes. I'm not going to cover this whole thing. It's bullshit. But if it's taking you 40 minutes to walk this idea out for the, whatever, the fucking 7th time in 2 weeks, I gotta say, I call bullshit. I think your cover lie is far too complicated,
and a lot more meat to it than anybody is talking about. You want to take us through it?
Okay, yeah. So there's a lot more meat to the Durham appendix than they thought.
I was like, of course this would happen right while I'm on vacation. Something like this drops.
Sure.
And it's so...
Where the fuck are you? Are you vacationing in a 8-bit video game? Is this... Are you playing Resident Evil in VR?
Insane. And what kind of annoyed me... So this is amazing. We'll get to like the contents of it. But what kind of annoyed me is, you know, politicians, people in the FBI, CIA, all that are working for Trump now and trying to get to the bottom of this. They're not storytellers, and they're not claiming to be storytellers. I wish that they would have had more of a storyteller mind and mindset for this, because they
right. So because you wouldn't have to do all the bullshitting, trying to take the actual facts and turn it into something that people believe is an actual conspiracy, which it ain't.
Should have released this Durham Annex before the ODNI report that tells...
Yeah, but it still wouldn't have changed anything. And also, I would like to say for the record, it's still weak sauce. It's still a nothing burger. It wouldn't have mattered. They're inept. You know, they're just... These are stupid people who can't do the job they're supposed to do, much less this special job you have assigned to them.
Gabbard released. And the reason I say that is because multiple times it talks about the special services that were involved. And that we're going to put more oil on the...
What's this part here on the menu that says special services? Oh, dear God. Don't want that. That's a no.
Fire, which they were talking about the FBI, and pushing this narrative of Russian collusion forward. Now, the FBI analysts said these special services were probably CIA or FBI people that...
Sorry, what was that word again? Right before, it was somewhere between they were and CIA or FBI. What was that word?
This narrative of Russian collusion forward. Now, the FBI analysts said these special services were probably CIA or...
They were CIA?
The FBI analysts said these special services were probably CIA.
Sorry. What's that word right there, right before CIA?
Forward. Now, the FBI analyst said these special services were probably CIA.
Oh, probably. Right, probably. Well, why didn't you say so? Fucking probably. Hey, that's better than possibly. You're right. Say probably again, motherfucker.
Or FBI, people that were, close to the Clinton campaign. Well, we got that information in the
probably close.
Now report a couple of weeks ago. The special services were, it looks like it was allegedly.
You should have stuck with probably. Sorry, it doesn't look like it. What?
Report a couple of weeks ago. The special services were, it looks like it was allegedly the Obama administration right at the top.
Sorry, it looks like it was allegedly. All right. Now, that's why I don't have to do 38 minutes on that fucking video. Because that's how fucking stupid everyone at the Blase is. Jesus Christ. Probably. Allegedly. Supposedly. Perhaps. I gotta say, if you used any of those words in court, you'd be fucked. Oh, God. I probably believe these Coopers saying, nah, not really. Exactly. Good Lord. It's so fucking lazy. You guys are wonderful, by the way, though. I want to say that. And then let me grab one more thing. It's got so much stuff to cover. Son of a... and I've only got... God damn it. The time is ticking away. The moments that make up the dull day. Yeah, this would be. Hold on, I'm looking up something that I watched earlier that I wanted to show you guys a piece of. It's sort of infuriating to watch like how like near miss these motherfuckers. Oh yeah, this is what I want to end on because this isn't that long. So, one of you guys know, and God bless Rob Glenn. I need you, my brother. On this next one, black screen. I'll bring this up in a second. When, you guys know how much I hate when smart people movies are written by stupid people. Oh, thanks, Marcia. Love you guys. Hit that like, share the show, etc. All the stuff I'm supposed to say when I'm a professional streamer. I have gone through this many, many times. And it sticks in my craw when there are these conversations being had, and I don't get to be a part of them because my channel isn't big enough. So you guys have to subscribe, otherwise I'm not going to clear my 100,000 mark and be able to get some of the guests I can be on, so I can give them what for. All right. No, I don't think Rob is in the chat today, but. This is a Theo Vaughn clip. He's got Sam Altman from OpenAI on. And his question is, how will people... Whoops, hold on. How will people generate wealth if AI does everything? I know it seems like a simple premise, but there is this post-AI, post-AGI economic theory that's been bouncing around. Thank you, Sue. That's been bouncing around. And Sam Altman kind of, I think, is probably aware of it. He's the head of OpenAI. Certainly has a better grasp on it than Elon Musk does. And Elon Musk basically just repeats anything he says, right? Okay. But I have to, and I'm going to need you guys to be with me. I couldn't watch this by myself because the idea of Theo Vaughn talking about AI is right up there with Glenn Beck talking about.
Say we're able to get to that space, right? Like the movement that happens with AI and with just technology, which will advance quicker, I think, which is one thing that AI feels like to me. It's a fast forward button on technology and on possibility, because information can be quantified so quick, and a lot of like more menial tasks, even though they're not really menial in people's lives.
Yeah, they are. Also quantified?
But menial, hypothetically, can be done quicker to get a lot of the framework for things done fast. But how will people survive? Like, how do we adjust our structure of if some people own the companies that have the AI, and then a lot of people are just using the AIs and the agents created by AIs to do things for them, how will society, like societal members, still be able to financially survive? Will there still be money? What is that?
Societal members. I love when people use big words or try to use what's effectively more intellectual, the higher intellectual level of the vocabulary, and because they know they're talking to a smart person, so they're trying to talk up to that, right? Societal members.
Does that make any sense? That
it
question?
Totally makes sense.
Okay, sorry.
I don't.
What will people do for a job if AI takes away a lot of the jobs? Same thing with automation. We've experienced this in a bunch of other areas. Machines taking jobs that were once done by humans. It certainly, it was a transition people could make to other jobs because they couldn't all be done. But this looks like it can do everything. So what happens then? Was that so difficult? All right.
No, neither is anybody else. But I'll tell you my current best guess.
Okay.
Well, I'll say two guesses. One, I think it is possible that we put, GPT-7 or whatever in everybody's ChatGPT. Everybody gets it for free. And everybody has access to just this like crazy thing such that everybody can be more productive, make way more money. It doesn't actually matter that you don't like own the cluster itself, but everybody gets to use it. Mm-hmm. And it turns out even getting to use it is enough that people are like getting richer faster and more distributed than ever before. That could happen. I think that really is possible. There's another version.
On the other hand,
of this,
which really comes to mind as I'm sitting across from you, Theo,
where the most important things that are happening are these systems are discovering, new cures for diseases, new kinds of energy, new ways to make spaceships, whatever. And most of that value is accruing to the like cluster owners, us, just so that I'm not dodging the question here. And then
I love how they put an AI cluster owner is an individual or entity responsible for the design, deployment, management, or ongoing maintenance of an AI computer cluster. Thanks. Yeah, we know the heads of this particular industry.
I think society will very quickly say, okay, we got to have some new economic model where we share that and distribute that to people. I used to be really excited about things like UBI. I still am kind of excited, like universal basic income, where you just give everybody money.
Yeah, you hear that term a lot. Yeah, universal basic income. Yeah, I heard you and Rogan talk about that too a while back.
I still am kind of.
Yeah, I heard you. You said, I heard that, I heard it said. I've heard those letters said. What?
Excited about that, but I think people really need agency. Like they really need to feel like they have a voice in governing the future and deciding where things go. And I think if you just like say, okay, AI is going to do everything, and then everybody gets like a, dividend from that, it's not going to feel good. And
yeah, look at Alaska.
And I don't think it actually would be good for people. So I think we need to find a way where we're not just like, if we're in this world where we're not just distributing money or wealth, like actually, I don't just want like a check every month. What I would want is like a ownership share in whatever the AI creates, so that I feel like I'm participating in this thing that's going to compound and get more valuable over time. So I sort of like universal basic wealth better than universal basic income. And I think I don't like basic either. I want like universal extreme wealth for everybody. But even then, like I think what people really want is the agency to kind of co-create the future together. And
that from Theo Vaughn was him not understanding what was just said at all. And in his defense, it is, I won't say it's bullshit, but this is bullshit adjacent. You can tell because they're both looking at the ceiling.
And in a world where it's like the AI is mostly coming up with the new scientific inventions.
Will AI run crypto, says Anonymous. No, AI will destroy crypto. It will vacate the value of crypto some date in the future, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years away. It will be destroyed in an afternoon.
At least we've got to still have humans like invent the new culture and have that be a very distributed thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. I see what you're saying, but would that be like?
No, he does not.
An American thing, do you think? Like since it were invented here, or do you think? I'm just wondering, what does that look like?
The economic model of it all, or the whole thing?
Yeah, or is there a dividend of the company that's then is divided up between the masses, sort of.
I mean, a crazy idea, but in the spirit of crazy ideas, is that if the world, there's like roughly 8 billion people in the world, if the world can generate.
I want to, you know what I really want to do? I really want to do a cut of this where I'm just up on the ceiling, suspended, just holding myself, like, with like sweat dripping on the end of my nose. And every time they look up at the ceiling, just cut to me going,
Rate like 8 quintillion tokens per year. If that's the world, actually, let's say the world can generate 20 quintillion tokens per year.
Tokens of?
Like each word generated by an AI.
Okay.
Just making up a huge number here.
Okay.
We'll say, okay, 12 of those go to, the normal capitalistic system, but 8 of those, 8 quintillion tokens, are going to get divided up equally among 8 billion people. So everybody gets 1 trillion tokens. And that's your kind of universal basic wealth globally. And people can sell those tokens. Like if I don't need mine, I can sell them to you. We could pool ours together for some like new art project we want to do. But instead of just like getting a check, everybody on Earth is getting like a slice of the world's AI capacity. And then we're letting the like massively distributed human.
Okay. He lost him at tokens. He lost it like, I don't know if they had this fucking conversation before. It wouldn't matter. Theo Von has no idea what he's talking about. Like, tokens means word. He has no idea what that means, right? I understand where he's going. He's basically saying that everybody uses AI and you need a certain amount of, credits, effectively, to use it for bigger tasks. And some people may decide they don't need it at all. It runs on, and their city does it, and you get these you get food delivery and all these other stuff that are sort of paid for and created by automation and robots and AI and all this stuff. So life becomes a lot easier. And then if there's any, that every citizen, because you contributed to it, you helped create it, whatever, you get you get a certain allotment of AI tokens you can use for other projects of your own creative works, your own design works, whatever the fuck you want to use it for, that isn't automatically free, above and beyond. And some people will use them and some people won't, and some people will give them away as gifts and stuff, and they'll be like, credits in a fucking Star Trek or a Star Wars movie. When people are buying and selling things with credits, that's what they're using, is that if you need something, you got a disease that you picked up on, Alpha Centauri, and you go there and you can stand in this thing, and it'll take the AI that finds cures for shit, a certain amount of tokens, and you would put those in and get zapped and whatever. That's what we're talking about. In like sci-fi, you would pay for it with those credits that allow you special access to make your own shit. And then everybody gets access to it in the baseline for whatever it needs. But if you run out of credits, you'd have extra ones. That's the thing. But tokens are how you input it via words. And Theo has no fucking idea what he's talking about. And I get where he's going with it, but he's only thinking in terms of the financial aspect of the stuff that he does, not the physical element of it. And that's where we get into how quickly robotics gets on its feet and all that kind of stuff. And then it's a totally different
ingenuity and creativity and economic
If AI is the bong, the toker is the token, sure.
And do its thing. I mean, that's like a crazy idea. Maybe it's a bad one, but that's the kind of thing that I think sounds like someone should think about it more.
Okay, I will. I'll give it some thought. Sure. Because I know Theo Von isn't going to. This was 5 minutes of Theo Von's podcast talking with Sam Altman, the guy who runs OpenAI. Are we headed to the real Star Trek? Yes. Yes, we are. And again, there is no Star Trek or Star Wars or any of the futuristic sci-fi that we've ever seen without robots building buildings and structures and giant spacecraft and AI compensating for the science that we've been incapable of creating up to this point, period. What is my thoughts on Timbaland using AI as a musician he signed? I think it's a ridiculous marketing thing, and it doesn't matter. He just popped something into Suno, and it's bullshit. He just has it create beats, and he just doesn't have to pay anybody for the beats. But he owns the song. Like I'll give you an example. Like the song I use as my theme song, even the Scottish one right now, I wrote here, I'll show you. So this one, this one, nope, oh, sorry. This one, okay. So I decided I wanted a theme song like Fletch or Beverly Hills Cop for myself. So I went in and used an arpeggiator and some loops and some other stuff, and I made this, right? And so I wrote this, but I used bits and pieces and slapped it together and used different tools that were in there, and I created this song myself. I wrote this, right? And then I took this song and I put it in and I've been using that as my theme song for a while, and I put it into an AI and said, give me a classical version of it. Right? Okay. And then I had it do like a guitar. So these are effectively covers, like AI covers of songs of my song. Right? And then the Scottish one, because Trump went to Scotland and everybody, they were holding up their nay Trump signs and all that. And since I am part Scottish, I had it come up with I fed my song into it and said, give me like a pipes and drums version. And this is what it kicked out. And I like it. But it's based on my song. It uses the bass line that's running in the other one. It does a drone note, and then it does, as it gets past this point, it goes into the melody. Right? Right? Okay, so, and I just went through and, where's the, I made a chill, like, version of it. Right? And so these are all, and this was the Beverly Hills Cop version, I think. Right? What program did he use to create his music? Oh, so I did the original, this one, in Logic. That's what I used to actually record my music. And then I freaked my dog out. He thinks it's time to go out. I'm sorry, Cindy. My bad. And I went through and I created just different variations of it, just messing around, right? Just trying to make it, find ones. There's some that I had that I made and I didn't like them at all. And then in the case of, in particular, where is it? Okay, yeah, it is. That Trump was doing YMCA at the end of his. I don't have a Slayer version, but I do have. Where is it? Kind of this one. Right, and then the kidney song. So I'd write lyrics and then I would put them in there. And when we ran into the thing with Trump using YMCA at the end of his rallies, I couldn't play him because I get a copyright strike. And then, so I decided to write the song that everybody hears when they're seeing him do YMCA, which is...
I love that feeling. Zipper hoods have got the goods. Owie, owie, oh. Pants and thongs and vests and thongs. Whoa, I love that feeling. Zipper hoods have got the goods. Owie, owie, oh. Boink,
boink, boink, dooby doo. You know what I want to do. Day, boink, boink, dooby doo. You know what I want to do. Butt stuff. So right? So I wrote that one so that it would be long enough that I could play it as a loop underneath YMCA or over top of YMCA when Trump was doing his stupid fucking dance, right? And then Couch Humping came out because, of the story, obviously, about J.D. Vance. Well, here, I cut it to the end. Couch Humping.
Couch humping, jumping, feel the beat, take it higher, can't retreat.
Right? So I did I wrote lyrics for it, and then I did like 5 different versions and just crank them through. And some of them are just absolute shite, and some of them just kind of work, right? Some of them are okay. Some of them are just, okay, that'll do. And what started me using them was the idea that I wanted, and this goes back to our WKRP, rest in peace, Lonnie Anderson, is that I've always wanted for my radio show on WCPT, I've always wanted a WKRP in Cincinnati kind of intro. So
The House Sparks radio program, Megaworldwide.
So I was like, I just went in and I was like, I want to make a few transition jingles just for the show because I could never afford to do those for my show. I mean, I've been doing, not only, by the way, do I do my show on CPT for free, largely to help the station stay afloat because they get to sell my advertising and do whatever they want with it, but also for the sort of value add that I can give. It's like my tithe with my time, right? So WCPT in Chicago, right? So I always wanted a theme thing like that, but I don't have any extra money to throw that way. I got a kid, right? So this allows me to do that and, take some work, take some fidgeting around, right? But I can have that element, and if I do come up with a joke, I can track my own song like Florida Man, or I can just jump into Suno and make something, and it depends on whatever value I put on it. If I think there's some permanence to it, then I will write my own. If it's meant to be a one-off gag that's going to be over in 2 days because of the news cycle, I'll throw it into AI, write some lyrics myself, mess around with it, see if I can come up with something worthwhile. If I can, I'll just go another way. Because I've done it a bunch, by the way. Those aren't the only songs I've written on there. And I've gone through a shit ton of really bad, I don't know, just like where just nothing came out, right? It was just kind of shit. I tried over and over, and it just doesn't get what I was trying to accomplish. So I just, squashed it. I'm trying to think if I put one of them in there that, this one. This is the sad violin music, which I love. This is so great to have, and it's copyright free, and I can use it for the sad Greg Kelly stuff, right? Works very well. But there were a couple of other ones. I think this one that it also did with the same kind of input from me, right? And I kept it. I downloaded it because I liked it for something, but it doesn't work for anything. It sounds like the beginning of an Evanescence song. Let's see. And then I did these little things
That's not how it works.
You've got it all wrong, right? I was trying to create theme songs for parts of my stuff, whatever. Anyways, so I took my real music and then I just did cover tunes of my own written song that I created in other styles that I could not afford to have done just for my little show here. If that makes sense. Yeah? Sounds like Air Supply, yeah. And then, of course, I don't even know if we've got... let's see if it's on here. 1 second.
The kidney has a very special place in the heart.
What the fuck? So, hi. Yeah. I did not booger off. No. Booger. Yes, it's very 28 days later. I agree. The kidney song. I now that I think about that, I didn't really put that together, but that's absolutely, yeah. The nephrologist song, right? Because it's showing, yeah. Oh, look at this. From Templeton Zarat. I'm sure Hal wouldn't watch this long form, but if he hasn't checked it out yet, I want to share the Cenk Uygur versus 20 Dems and Republicans. Oh my God. What a fucking waste of time. But I will look into it. I will watch it for you, Templeton. I will do that. So anyways, love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else. What a day. Huh? All right. Let's see. What should I go out on? I feel like I'm feeling this one. All right. Hit that like, share the show. Come on. Yes, I use Suno for most of these things. Although I've messed with some other things too. That seems to be the most consistently stupid and funny.
Don't be shy. Subscribe now or blink and cry.